Welcome to another episode of Plaas TV. First in line is Simeon Hurwitz about Hurwitz Farming's upcoming production auction. He elaborates on what buyers can look forward to. Then agriculture and climate change are inextricably linked, and many producers in South Africa are already making use of climate smart farming practices. Today we meet one of these producers, Matthew Morgan, our last finalist for the 2022 Veeplaas Climate Smart Ambassador. Before we get to that, first over to Lisa for the latest agricultural news.
ABE Biotech. Fermentasie is gelyk aan prestasie.
In today's news, Ghana's tomato production industry has collapsed. The executive director of the Peasant Farmers Association, Charles Nyaba, attributes the collapse to a lack of government attention to local tomato production and the agricultural sector as a whole. According to a report on Ghana Web, most of the country's staple foods are imported. In March this year, farmers projected food shortages in the country. The association has advised consumers to purchase food items such as maize, rice and millet in bulk and to store them as food prices are set to escalate. According to the latest report on the reinforced monitoring of citrus imports by the European Union, purchases of citrus fruits have dropped by 11.5% in the first 4 months of 2022. This indicates a decline of 61,000 tonnes compared to last season. In the first 4 months of this year, mandarin imports exceeded those of oranges for the first time, marking a new trend in the last decade. However, both still saw a reduction in the volume of purchases from the European Union compared to last year. Those of oranges fell by 27.3% and mandarins by 5.7%. The only increase was in the case of lemons, of which EU imports increased by 77.4%. And the United States Department of Agriculture is maintaining an optimistic view regarding global grains production. The department has just released its monthly update on world agricultural supply and demand estimates. According to Agbiz economist Wandile Sihlobu, the USDA believes that output in the 2022-23 season might not drop significantly. In its July release, the USDA forecast of 2022-23 global maize production at 1.18 billion tonnes, which is down only 3% year on year. This is mainly because of an expected annual decline in the US and Chinese maize harvest. The 2022-23 global wheat production is also set to drop by only 1% year on year, to 771 million tonnes. And that's today's news. Hurwitz Farming has an auction we can look forward to soon, and joining me today in studio is Simeon Hurwitz. Simeon, welcome. First time?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah,
absolutely.
Privileged to be here.
Tell us more about this wonderful auction that's coming up. Always something to look forward to.
Thank you. Yeah, it's our 8th production auction. Takes place on the 6th of August this year on our farm at the Bullring. Always the highlight of the year for us. It's what our entire agricultural business looks forward to everybody works towards, and something that hopefully will be another good auction on the calendar and a success for our farm and a business. And really our production auction is something on a different level. We like to think so. We like to gear ourselves up towards. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Anything specific you'd like to highlight? Exciting lots or attractions?
Definitely. I mean, we always have a surprise. We always have something that's interesting, something a bit of a twist. But yes, I mean, our herd is well known. We've got household names and animals on the sale, like Jumbo, for example. I think he has to be one of the best bulls certainly we've ever used. One of the best breeding bulls. We've got sons of Picasso. We've got daughters of Picasso. We've got animals and progeny of successful animals that we've sold in the past, like Ronaldo and Diana, etc. But now, these are names that we know and the industry knows, not necessarily the public knows, but those in the know in the industry and the boar breed worldwide, they know these animals and they're looking forward to getting their hands on progeny on those, I think.
You haven't mentioned the breed for those viewers that don't know what you farm with.
So it's a Boran auction. So I mean, we're very concentrated on Boran. We have another breed as well, Africa Drought Masters, but this is our Boran auction, and this is the one for us that really gets us going.
Will any registered cattle be on auction, or will you have any commercial lots on offer?
Both. So also we have a contingent that comes from guest sellers. Mainly the commercial stuff comes from the guest sellers, but these are guest sellers that are friends of ours that have been going with us for all the years with our auctions. So from the SP side, we have about 50 animals. The commercial side, we have also about 50 animals, but the commercial animals are upbred Boran animals. So it's with Boran using as a denominator with various breeds with that. So the focus is definitely on Boran. But yeah, we have the commercial animals, and they always go for good prices, and there's always good interest in them, mostly 3-in-1s with calves at foot. So it's a very good offering in total. Not too many animals for the sale, but at the same time, those that want and those that come certainly come away with what they were looking for.
Mm. Now, for those that know you, in the past, you've set very high standards of successful auctions, excellent prices, we know. What's your secret?
Thank you. There's no real secret. I think the diversity in the herd is one of the assets. I mean, it's a very big herd. It's the largest registered Boran breed herd in the world, actually. So the genetic strength in there, the diversity in there, it certainly speaks for itself. And then because of the base and because of the quantum of cattle, it allows us to really cherry pick the animals that come on the sale. So it's really the best of the best. I know it's a cliche, but it's really the truth of those animals that come onto the sale. The successful prices are good, and the marketing certainly has helped in the past to gear it up. So we're privileged. We pack the room. There's a lot of interest worldwide. There's a lot of interest from online that come through, with the sale. So that all adds to the atmosphere. And then we get a lot of help from our sponsors, headline sponsors, the Sir Class, South Africa, as well as Kempston Agri, as well as other sponsors. And then by the time we finished, we really get 400 or 500 people there on the day. It becomes like a mini Nampo. And all that energy eventually culminates in a successful auction. Well, that's been the recipe in the past. So we hope that this year repeats that.
Let's talk about the logistics and the date and the time once again. It's on the 6th of August. Where is it? What time is it? Who's doing it for you?
So 6th of August, always the first Saturday of August. That's calendarized as it is. At the Bullring, which is at the entrance to our farm in Darvel, which is midway between Bethel and Ermelo in Mpumalanga.
Cold part of the world.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Always bring a jacket to that part of the world. Online platforms, we'll be using both SwiftFee and Meerkat this year. We did it last year as well. That worked successfully. We've got Vleis Central Ermelo, who will be our marketing agents. We've got our own dedicated website, which is www.boranauction.co.za. Pre-register, please, on there. So it just allows us, a bit of an easier flow through the day. The logistics are done by us. We do transport for people, transport for cattle afterwards, accommodation, meals, drinks.
Biosecurity is in place.
Definitely. With the latest foot and mouth outbreak that we're dealing with, sure. We're also retrofitting our venue a little bit. Hopefully it'll be done in time. But yes, absolutely. We must be very strict on that.
In closing, more information on that website?
Yeah, sure.
Just repeat that for us.
Website, boranauction.co.za. Otherwise, Facebook works, social media works. Always can get hold of us via any of our cell phones. It's a big team behind us, and everybody they're all ambassadors for the sale. So phone any one of us, and you'll get the information you need.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Trust it will
and
go
a privilege
well.
to be here. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Make a note. 6th of August, the Hurwitz Farming Annual Auction.
Communique exists to serve feed and food producers.
Goeiemôre kykers, die termynmarkpryse vir die lewering van grane en oliesade in September het weer eens week op week gedaal en hierdie is op die rug van laer internasionale pryse met die vrese van 'n moontlike wêreldwye resessie wat kommoditeitspryse afdwing. Witmielie-prys week op week 5% laer, terwyl geelmielies vir lewering in September 5,5% goedkoper is en die koringprys wat ook 2,6% gedaal het. Sonneblomme is 2,6% goedkoper, terwyl die sojaboonprys met 4% gedaal het. Olieprys het week op week egter toegeneem met 4,8% en dan het verlede week se aankondiging deur die monetêre beleidskomitee dat ons rentekoers met 75 basispunte of 0,75% gaan styg tot 'n prima uitleenkoers van 9%, bietjie ondersteuning gebied vir die rand en week op week het ons 1,3% veld gewen teenoor die dollar, 0,1% versterk teenoor die pond en ook 0,1% versterk teenoor die euro.
Klimaatsverandering, 'n vloekwoord van ons tyd, maar 'n onvermydelike realiteit. Grond, gras, veld, water, reën en finansiële kundigheid. Elemente wat 'n sentrale rol in suksesvolle klimaatslim boerderypraktyke speel. Is jy 'n klimaatslim veeboer? Het jy wat dit vat om ons eerste Veeplaas Klimaatslim Ambassadeur te word? Vir meer inligting, kontak Deidre Lou by 066 231 2430 of stuur 'n e-pos aan deidre@plaasmedia.co.za. The time to announce the winner of the 2022 Veeplaas Climate Smart Ambassador is drawing near. But first, we have one last finalist who we want to get to know a bit better, Matthew Morgan. Matthew, tell us a bit about yourself. What do you farm with and how did you get to where you are today?
Deirdre, I've been farming since 2009 here on Redcliffe Farm. And I started farming together with my father from 2009 to 2014. And from 2014, after he passed, I've been farming on my own. I've got a wife and two kids, a boy and a girl. They're 6 and 4. They're also here on the farm. It's a great family life, living on a farm and bringing kids up. Farming's always been a huge passion of mine. We farm with sheep and cattle. We pride ourselves in the quality of our sheep's wool. Sheep is a major part of our farming. And on the cattle side of things, we farm with Hereford cows. We need a hardy, woolly animal that can endure the harsh, cold winters that we endure here. And then together with that, we have some irrigation on the farm where we run plant pastures. We have a little bit of lucerne, but mostly it's extensive high mountain sour felt, high rainfall. So we're able to run quite a lot of animals per hectare. That's basically my setup and background of farming in a nutshell.
Why is it important to you to implement climate smart farming practices on your farm?
I think we all know now how we need to value climate and what a big role it has to play, as that is our major contributor with regards to farming. It's a big risk. We need to know how to deal with when the weather changes patterns or going for extended periods of droughts or huge periods with a lot of rain. So our farming practices need to be ecologically sound. We need to learn how to conserve our natural resources and value the biodiversity and ecology within our land. Sustainable farming has a huge potential for benefiting the environment and preserving the natural resources if farmed and managed in the correct manner. And there are many spin-offs of farming climate smart, with an eye on being sustainable, and also to a larger extent the regenerative side of farming, and by means of creating and enhancing new habitats for a wider variety of species. And our well-being is closely linked to the health of the environment. So as long as our environment's healthy, we have healthy animals, and we should have a better quality of life. So being aware of those natural resources, of your animals, of your soil health, all of that is fundamental to farm sustainably, and to benefit in terms of the future with the changes in climate, and knowing how to adapt to those changes.
A big part of the competition is about sharing information and knowledge, but also the willingness to learn new things and improving yourself when it comes to climate smart farming practices. What would you say is the best way of sharing this type of information with others? And maybe you can elaborate about the people who are mentors in your life and what you learned from them.
Yeah, sure. I think that starts at ground level. You need to get your staff buy-in to the bigger picture, to your plans of how you want to farm and how you want to long-term, what your goals are with the farm. And then to your neighbors, and show them your passion in this climate smart farming practice, and share that with them close by first, and then show them what you're doing, and see if it's something that they may be interested in, that they could possibly implement, and then grow it from that, and then take it to the wider community, maybe to farmers association level, where you can have information days and invite people around to your farm, and show them the developments and what one has done in order to be more climate smart, and able to farm more sustainable, the ways in which you've implemented those strategies. And then from then on, hopefully, that will create a larger buy-in, and more interest to a broader network of farmers. And with regards to mentors, I must say my father was definitely my greatest mentor. He taught me a lot about the value of farming and preserving the natural resources. So he came from an era where he got to the farm, where the farm had been through a lot of droughts and a lot of overgrazing. So he had to go through many decades of almost repairing the previous generation's practices. And he taught me the value of that, and promoting good soil health, good ground cover. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have grass on your soil or topsoil, you haven't got much to farm with. So it's preserving all those natural resources, and knowing the balance between that, which he made clear to me, which I try and strive to grow in my own farming endeavors.
What do you regard as the most important aspect of climate smart farming management? What stands out?
obviously having a good understanding of it is vital, and knowing that we are part of the bigger picture, and the climate is changing. It's not what it seems to be. We don't know what it's going to be in 10 years' time. We don't know what it's going to be next year. So we really need to plan carefully, be very flexible in our planning, be able to implement practices that can adapt to however it changes, for the good or the bad. But yeah, at the end of the day, I basically see myself as a custodian of this land, and it's my responsibility to take care of it and preserve it and add as much value to it as possible, so that I can then hand it over to the next farming generation in a better condition, standard to what I received it in. So it's the awareness of it and trying to take it into your daily work and plan forward in that way.
There you have it, folks. That was Matthew Morgan, our 4th finalist in the Veeplaas Climate Smart Ambassador project. Make sure you watch Plaas TV on the 5th of August when we announce the first Veeplaas Climate Smart Ambassador.
BKB, die betroubare tuiste van landbou. BKB, the trusted home of agriculture.
Tag! Hear it?
You can't touch this. Tag!
The all-new Toyota Starlet makes space for fun.
Elanco, we are driven by our vision of food and companionship, enriching life.
Welkom terug aan al die kykers van vandag se Plaas TV program. Ek is Jean de Villiers van Plaas Media en hiermee volg die veilings wat voorlê. Ons skop die week se kalender op die 26ste Julie met Milestone Beefmasters se 10de produksieveiling af. Hierdie veiling word deur BKB op die plaas Uitkyk in Morgenson aangebied met Billy Lions as afslaer op die dag. Die aanbod op die veiling sluit 35 3 jaar oue geregistreerde bulle, 20 dragtige koeie en kalwers, 20 dragtige stoetverse, asook 180 dragtige kommersiële diere in. Dan nou Anko Bonsmaras en Anzac Bonsmaras hulle gesamentlike produksieveiling op die 27ste Julie by die Piet Tron veilingskompleks in Vryburg. Hierdie veiling word deur Karoo Oes aangebied en die aanbod op die veiling sluit 35 bulle en 250 kommersiële vroulike diere in. Hanseil Bonsmaras hou ook op die 27ste Julie hulle produksieveiling op die plaas Struisfontein in die De Wetsdorp distrik. Die aanbod op die veiling sluit 40 bulle, 'n klompie golden oldies, 5 topverse, asook 120 vroulike diere in alle produksiestadiums in. Hierdie veiling word aangebied deur Vleissentraal PE met André van Sail as afslaer op die dag. Jaristad Hugenote bied ook op die 27ste Julie 4 bulle tydens 'n veiling wat deur Vleissentraal op die plaas Jenvos in Ermelo aangebied sal word. Dan nou Bastion Brangus Teelersgroep hulle 10de produksieveiling op die 29ste Julie by die Warden veilingskrale. Die aanbod op die veiling sluit 42 bulle, asook 38 rooi en swart vroulike diere in alle produksiestadiums in. Hierdie veiling word aangebied deur Vleis Sentraal. Dan op die 2 Augustus hou Rocky Drought Masters en Oudensim en Lewenslus Simmenthalers hulle gesamentlike produksieveiling op die plaas Uithoek in Villiers. Die aanbod op die veiling sluit 22 Droughtmaster bulle, 26 swaardragtige Droughtmaster koeie, sommige met kalvers, 25 Simmentaler bulle, asook 22 swaardragtige Simmentaler koeie, ook sommige met kalvers in. Die veiling word aangebied deur Vleis Sentraal Frankfurt met Johan van der Nest as afslaer op die dag. Ons sluit dan vandag se kalender met Geldenhuisbonds Mara se 13de produksieveiling af, wat ook op die 2 Augustus op die plaas Spitskop in die Belfast omgewing gehou sal word. Die aanbod op die veiling sluit 38 bulle en 60 dragtige koeie en verse in. En dit is al van my kant af vir die week, tot volgende week. Totsiens.